As an American, I eat apple pie, play baseball under its blue skies. As an American, I travel this land and follow her roads wherever I can. From sea to shining sea, I've seen a lot, and none of it will be forgot. And when my country called, I gave my all as an American. I was born into freedom in a wonderful land of mountains and plains, rivers and lakes. Forever American is what I am. A past as rich as any can be. My father's worked hard to give this to me. I love this place I come from. To live another way I cannot foresee. As an American, I eat apple pie, play baseball under its blue skies. As an American, I travel this land and follow her roads wherever I can. From sea to shining sea, I've seen a lot, and none of it will be forgot. And when my country called, I gave my all as an American. As an American, I've been to the peaks of majestic mountains where the air is sweet. I've watched the eagle as it soars in beautiful skies that just can't be ignored. And by this country I'll always stand, for freedom and liberty for every man. When times are hard and things get rough, America always stands ready and rough. As an American, I eat apple pie, play baseball under its blue skies. As an American, I travel this land and follow her roads wherever I can. From sea to shining sea, I've seen a lot, and none of it will be forgot. And when my country called, I gave my all as an American. And when my country called, I gave my all as an American. Forever American is what I am.
Hello, hello, hello. Thank you guys for joining us at Real News Live on this Memorial Day. Take a moment to recognize all the people that have fought for us and lost their lives to defend this country, to make it great. And to see what's happening today, the destruction, disorder, it's just crazy. Hi Richard, hi Tia, hi Debbie, hi Pam, hi Nana, hi Matt, hi Richard. Hi Alex, hi Susan. Hit that share button if you're in here, please, because obviously a lot of people didn't get notifications tonight. This tentative debt ceiling deal is an absolute destruction, a disaster. Raising the debt ceiling would actually mean more problems in the future than less. We are careening towards bankruptcy at this point. As multiple people have already said it, I've been saying it for days. If we come up with a deal for debt ceiling, it's nothing more than a way towards bankruptcy. As we know, the cost right now of the national debt is $2.6 trillion a year in just interest. As crazy as that sounds. Any deal to raise the debt ceiling at this point is bad. I mean, we need to cut spending. And cutting spending is a lot to say, but to say you can do $4 trillion increased over the next year and a half. Another $4 trillion borrowed over the next year and a half. That doesn't even pay the interest on the debt. The money we're borrowing doesn't even cover the interest that we'll pay over the next 2 years. As scary as that sounds. We're talking over the next 2 years, $5.2 trillion will be paid toward the national debt. And interest alone. And we're going to increase it for another $4 trillion over the next year and a half. Got to be thinking to ourselves, the trajectory here, really since March of 2020, and COVID spending, the total reset of the budget, I mean, we're sticking with that? Come on. It's totally inadequate to get us in a better spot. I mean, months after tensions and negotiations, Biden and McCarthy may have a tentative deal. They reached a deal on principle to raise the debt ceiling for 2 years, adding to the new spending cap in the same period. This is the problem, though. Neither Republicans nor Democrats want this. Yeah, 13 countries have joined the BRICS nation. No U.S. dollar. It's happening. Even if the U.S. were to run out of money, and yes, it would be very problematic, it would cause us to reset our debt defaults. It would cause us to really take a look at what's happening in this country. Money that should have never been touched, like Social Security, that was supposed to be put into a savings account and given back to the American people, has been depleted because the government just spends it. That's the reason the government's running out of money. Because any penny they can get their hands on, they spend. They don't look to the future. I guarantee this time next year, or not even this time next year, we'll be looking for more money. Raise the debt ceiling again before even this debt ceiling raise would be ended. And it's sad to watch. As Americans face days or going hungry and food being scarce, families having to absolutely push to make ends meet at this point. It is sad to see what's happening in our great nation on this day. This day we're supposed to be celebrating the lives, the men and women that fought to make this country what it is today. Fought Japan during their disastrousness that when they attacked our country. Fought all these other countries to stabilize our nation as a whole. None of that. Japan today says that it's going to destroy North Korea's missiles after satellite launch alert. So North Korea has announced they will be launching a satellite into space between May 31st and June 11th. It's already been planned. They notified Tokyo. They notified the international sector. But yet Japan said now today that it will shoot down North Korea missile or rocket that's going to outer space. I mean, this is ridiculous. We're going to end up pushing and pushing and pushing. I don't know. All that borrowed money, and the taxpayers can't even get what they need, and people are the actual infrastructure of our country is falling apart. Bridges to infrastructure like power and water. I mean, this is ridiculous. But watching Japan now using offensive weapons, which, according to the treaty that was signed when Japan surrendered, they're not supposed to have offensive weapons. But they're doing it anyways. And now they're saying they're going to attack North Korea's satellite and missile. I mean, this is crazy. This is going to cause more problems than good. I mean, for a satellite, a serious provocation of Japan's security, supposedly. Such launches are violating a U.S. nation's Security Council resolution. I don't see how. Japan just pushing at this provocation, just like the U.S. is all along. I mean, GOP lawmakers are warning China's on the march, up to which the likes we have never seen before. I mean, we're seeing, of course, the spearhead of debt ceiling talks, still hoping that they will vote. One way or another, they're going to have a vote, and it doesn't look good. But watching what's happening, we need to understand within the next 4 years, China is going to make a move. What kind of move they're going to make and what's the world going to look like? That's a big question. As Iran races towards a nuclear weapons, you could then have a nuclear arms race in the Middle East, not to mention Israel being wiped off the face of the earth. The Chinese are on the march. They're prepared for war. People don't want to look at it that way, but it is. I mean, the U.S. is doing the stupidest things that you can imagine. U.S. and Taiwan are putting Taiwan under the U.S.'s nuclear umbrella is a signal to China that invasion could escalate to nuclear level. The problem is, Taiwan is part of China. We have agreed to this. Yeah, we're spending billions of dollars. Not 185 trillion was spent. 185 billion was spent on the open war. But Taiwan's joining of the nuclear umbrella could deter Chinese threats, but it could also cause huge problems. I mean, allowing that to even happen is ridiculous because we agree with one China policy, and we're going to fight it. Speculation over the possibility of Taiwan joining the U.S. umbrella has sounded the alarm across the cross-strait tensions with China that could lead to nuclear conflict at any time now. Confirming the island's talks on whether the U.S. would include Taiwan under its nuclear umbrella, while the minister did not reveal further details or deny wanting to join the nuclear umbrella. Analysts believe it would create a strong deterrent for Taiwan against China attacks. I believe it's the opposite, honestly. Watching what's happening, as we know, Beijing, they're going to attack Taiwan. Are they going to take Taiwan back with power or with force or without? World War III is coming, yeah. At this point, it's going to be nuclear. We're creating a powerful problem with every single person that doesn't agree with us in any kind of face. Basically, we're threatening China with nuclear weapons. If they go and take land that was already theirs with the one China policy we agreed to. American forces are saying they're still going to deploy its nuclear submarines near Taiwan Strait to act as a deterrent, even if Taiwan does not join the U.S. nuclear umbrella. It's like spitting in the face of China. Literally, at this point. And I understand nobody wants Taiwan to be dictated by China, but China and Taiwan have always been tied together as one country. Denying that and saying that there are two different countries, which is happening slowly and surely, is pushing China to act irrationally, to use force. And the public carefully discerning news about the island securities, because nobody wants the public to panic. I mean, responses from across the spectrum of potential nuclear and non-nuclear scenarios in defense of its allies and partners of the U.S. have been bad. I mean, we're already breaking the nuclear proliferation agreement by sending nuclear-powered submarines, to Australia. And that opens the door for nuclear proliferation everywhere, because we are selling nuclear devices that cannot be monitored or controlled, meaning it's not it is a nuclear power plant, but it's on a warship which do not fall under the treaty, meaning it should not be sold to them. We're doing it. We don't care. We're changing policies. We're rewriting policies. What's that push? That pushes Putin and his allies in Belarus for nuclear weapons for everyone. That's his announcement. Whoever joins Belarus and Russia, Putin ally promises nuclear weapons for them. And this is crazy. A close ally of Russian president promised nuclear weapons to any nation that joins Russia and Belarus. Comments came just days after the Belarusian leader confirmed the transfer of nuclear weapons to his country from Russia. Putin has periodically hinted at nuclear escalation since back in February, since the invasion of Ukraine, dramatically increasing of troop tensions with the U.S. and the West. It's very simple. I mean, you have to join the union between Belarus and Russia, and that's it. There will be a nuclear weapon for everyone, is what he said last night on Russian state television. And it's possible. I mean, we're going to see a lot of Middle Eastern countries swing now. It is very sad. And this strategy, understanding that we'll have a unique chance to unite a lot of these Middle Eastern countries and push them into one umbrella. We're watching the U.S. dollar devalue as we speak. The U.S. can't even manage to feed its own citizens, but pushing everything else. And of course, the U.S. is fighting back, saying, "Well, you can't give nuclear weapons to non-nuclear countries." Well, we just did. We're selling nuclear submarines to Australia, which breaks the treaty in the first place, the Non-Proliferation Treaty. Of course, entering that, it just makes it worse. Watching the union, of course, grow between Russia and Belarus and China and all these other former Soviet republics or communist countries. They're growing fast. And the escalation of nuclear rhetoric from Putin as the war efforts in Ukraine supposedly are floundering. Russia has the largest stockpile of nuclear weapons in the world, which Putin said it will not hesitate to use if any country security or existence is threatened. Meaning he will use it if we try to threaten him, like the F-16s. The F-16 deal is still going through. Of course, meetings with Switzerland today on joining NATO with the F-16 deal were in talks today. I mean, Belarus, which does not possess any of its own nuclear weapons after it transferred its stock from Soviet era to Russia back in the 1990s, now has nuclear weapons because Moscow uses its territory to launch a full-scale invasion last year. I mean, watching this happen, and then of course the poisoning of Belarus's president, when they think it was meant for Putin, everybody's on edge. China's on edge. North Korea's on edge. Japan's on edge. We're on edge. And we're the ones pushing most of it because we're pushing massive amounts of weapons into countries to fight proxy wars that we should never be involved in. Especially not because some of the stuff in the research, if you do it yourself, you'll find that there were requests for United Nations troops to come in to stop what was happening in Ukraine. I don't know why it's freezing off and on. I'm sorry if it is, you guys. I cannot help that. This is a very terrible problem, though. Russian officials aren't stopping there. They went to strike Alaska. Russian lawmakers propose a missile attack on Alaska in an interview Friday. Just Friday. I mean, regarding U.S. aid to Ukraine, I mean, this is ridiculous. Russian state media is calling for Graham's assassination. I mean, this is crazy. South Carolina Republican Senator Lindsey Graham's statement regarding U.S. assistance to war-torn Ukraine has caused an uproar in Russia. One of its media figures is calling for his assassination at this point. Russian State Department talking about preemptive missile strikes on Alaska. We are literally pushing in every way, shape, or form somebody to do something at this point. It's crazy. Russia's quite capable of scurrying the ground of Alaska to the ground. It's not for us to respond to threats we're confronted with, but for them to rush around with no idea of what's next. I mean, watching the strategic nuclear forces that hold America's territory, Alaska across the strait, I mean, it doesn't take too much but a couple brigades to do anything they want. Yeah, we're playing war games. And Putin's absolutely right. We are playing war games, and we are playing them all around the world. I mean, the U.S. has spent millions of dollars on killing Russians in an ongoing war that we are not supposedly involved in. Billions of dollars at this point. U.S. dollars spent killing Russians in an ongoing war is ridiculous. I mean, yes, I believe in foreign aid and I believe in helping citizens. But the problem is, supplying weapons is not helping citizens. It is not feeding their citizens. It is not housing their citizens. It is not providing the power. It is not helping them. Yeah. Problem is, most of our troops that we have in the United States, people don't realize, are previously deployed in engagements around the world, as the United States is playing the sheriff to the world. It looks devastating. I mean, Russia launched massive new air assaults on Kiev just about 17 minutes ago. They've been hitting Kiev nonstop and started launching a massive new wave attacks on Kiev in the early hours, of course, of Tuesday, which it's Tuesday now. The air defense system was engaged on incoming targets. Air raid sirens been blaring in several other regions. A massive attack. And people are being told not to leave the shelters. I mean, Kiev's administration officials said the air defense system was repelling the attacks, but supposedly falling debris has hit several districts of the capital and causing massive damage. Don't think that sounds like debris. It sounds like you're not getting through. Their missiles are just going through your defense system like nothing. Let's be honest. Russia has repeatedly attacked Ukraine over the last several days, causing massive damage. I mean, from the 17th to today, they've been hitting almost every day. Not a single branch, Jeff, has met the recruiting requirements. And they've been talking about changing the way the draft's going to work here in the United States. Why would they be talking about that amongst everything that's happening? I mean, Ukraine officials are hinting at counteroffense coming soon, but they've been hinting at this for almost 2 months. Ukrainian officials have indicated the country's expected counteroffense is coming soon, while Russian missiles are hitting Ukraine overnight and during daylight attacks. Commanders of Ukraine's ground force said in an interview, "The time will soon come that we will move to actively offensive actions." What does that mean? That time has come and gone, as far as I see it. Yeah, National Guard are being sent because they don't have enough servicemen. National Guard are supposed to guard it within the United States and to react to devastation or tragedies here within the states. Just like the Coast Guard. But yet you see Coast Guard doing missions around the world now. It's tragedy. Literally watching what's happening. I mean, we're seeing onslaughts of losses of life and everything else. I mean, and Taiwan's rushing to prevent China from cutting its internet access, which could happen any time now. That information is just not coming through. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy watching what's happening. Every time I turn around, it's something new. It's not getting any better. Our debt ceiling deal may just drive us directly towards bankruptcy quicker than ever. Imagine our national debt doubling in the next 10 years. Doubling. Our national debt doubling in the next 10 years would mean that we are paying our interest alone, just we have to take money out just to pay our interest payment because our taxes don't cover it. That's not funding the government either. It is just sad. It is just sad. The state of our country is in a drastic decay. Everything's going up in price. Once again. The Federal Reserve is talking about raising interest rate hikes because of what's happening. Watching the Philippines having problems, watching multiple countries having problems. Then you got the Biden administration worrying about forcing everybody to buy electric cars. Buy electric cars because we're just going to we're going to burn the gas and oil at the power plants now. Sell you the power through the grid at an extremely higher rate than it would cost for you to buy it yourself and then put it in your automobile and drive. And you'll be happy. As their own nothing and still be happy political scheme is pushing forward. Be prepared because the reckoning is coming, you guys. It's going to be a day, and it's going to be soon. As we're watching what's happening, Americans are realizing what's happening day by day. Yeah, well, gas is truly a lot cheaper. Can we just hit the reset? That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to reset it where nobody owns anything. They own everything. And you're happy about it. You live in debt. That's the way our government wants it to be. Dire times. Truly dire times. You're right, Jeff. Yeah, gas is cheaper in other countries. Because they don't tax it like we do. We tax gas and extremely enormous taxes on fuel for roads and everything else, but none of that money ends up going to those things. That money ends up going to the federal government because this needs to be done or that needs to be paid. And the infrastructure of our country is diminishing. We have bridges that are falling apart. We have roads that look like a third world country. Our highway system is in serious need of an upgrade. But we don't care about any of that. Yeah, we tax gas and to buy solar panels and windmills that aren't efficiently producing right now. I mean, I could see if efficiency was a lot greater, but it's not. It is a sad time to watch the devastation happen. I wasn't going to go live tonight, but I feel I need to. It's absolutely ridiculous watching what's happening. Absolutely ridiculous. God bless you all. Happy Memorial Day. I hope you guys had a great day. Be safe, be strong, stand tall, and be ready. Be ready, because we don't know what's going to happen next or when it's going to happen, but it's going to happen. Of course, till Wednesday, we will see you guys later. Be safe. God bless you all, and God bless America.